needs a day. And I know that it sucks sometimes to see all that bright light. I know sometimes it's gloomy in the darkest of nights. But you were born for that purpose. Be the star that shines for all. Be who you are, or be known at all. You can change the world if you really want to. You can do unto others, not done to you. Serve your purpose, be honest, brave, and true. Change your attitude, don't let the world change you. You can change the world, you can change the world. Make a difference for mankind's gone astray. You can change the world, you can change the world. Change your attitude, change the world every day. You can save the world, you can save the world, and reach out to who needs you. And I know that it's hard sometimes to see that light. It's hard but true. You were born for that purpose, baby. Be the star that shines for all. Be you, be who you are, or be no one, be no one, no one at all. You can change the world, you can change the world. If it's only a person, 2 minutes a day. You can change the world, you can change the world. Make it a better place to live when the sky's so gray. Oh yeah, everyone, tonight we have a very special guest here on Angified, none other than Steve Andrews. As you can see, Steve Andrews is here today with us. Yes, he is here. He is also known as the Bard of Ely. Yes, make sure you go ahead and you check him out. You can find him, the Bard of Ely, also known as the famous Cardiffian. As we give him a warm family welcome here, Steve Andrews. How are you today, Steve?
I'm fine, thank you, Angie. Yeah, I'm so pleased to be here.
Oh, it's such an honor to have you here with me. I am so excited.
Well, it's an honor to join you. And yeah, I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but I'm sure, you know, it's just gonna happen. We're just gonna go for it. So yeah, let's do it.
Well, let me ask you about you. Like, where did you come from? Was your family involved in, you know, music and art, or, you know, saving or farming, you know, with the vegetation? Please fill me in. Where did you come from?
Well, I come originally from Cardiff in South Wales. That's where I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents as such were not particularly, you know, artists or music. I mean, my father used to play harmonica, but not kind of professionally or anything, just sometimes. And I never really had any encouragement with music. I had encouragement when I was very little for my art. My mum used to say that my drawings were good or something, but for some reason I stopped doing that. I stopped doing like drawings and paintings. But when I was a teenager, I I heard Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's the guy that really got me started. I heard all kinds of other people, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and they were all amazing as well. But Bob Dylan, his lyrics kind of just grabbed me. And I thought, look, I want to be a singer-songwriter like that. I want to be, somebody that writes songs and plays guitar, and that's what I want to do. And I would have been, I suppose, about 16 when I think I had my first guitar, and I started writing poems in school. But it took me maybe till I was 19, 20 before I actually did anything like on a stage. And I remember I used to play in a folk club in Cardiff. And I had a song that I hated, but people liked it. The song was called Rubber Ducky, and the first line is extracting the latex from a rubber ducky. It gets you in a mess, yes, very mucky. And we had like a little squeaky rubber ducky. And people loved that song. And I played it at the Windsor Festival. And there were like thousands of people there. And they gave me an encore for extracting the latex of rubber ducky. But I wasn't pleased. I was depressed because I thought, no, this isn't the kind of song that I want to get well known for. This is not the kind of song that Bob Dylan would write. This is not serious song this is just nonsense, but the people like it. So I didn't really, I wasn't happy with that. I can see like in years later that I should have capitalized on that. I should have thought, this is my big chance. I should now be like sending this out to record labels and stuff. So, check out my song, Rubber Ducky. All these people at the Windsor Festival loved it. And they'd say, oh, yes, we'll give you a deal. But I didn't do that because I thought, no, I don't like this. And I had a really weird experience which happened to me. It was some months after that particular festival. I was in London to see Van Morrison. And again, like Dylan, I'm a huge fan of Van Morrison, right? So I went in this little pub just for a pint before I went in the venue to see Van. And this guy came over to me and he said, oh man, you're the guy that does the song about the rubber ducky. I've been telling all my friends about this. You've got to come over and meet these people. And sure enough, that was true. There was a whole bunch of people in this pub who'd heard about me as the guy that does the rubber ducky. And I had to shake hands and yeah, pleased to meet. And I thought, no, and that was just like really weird because I hated the song. But that's an example of how that song could have been my ticket to the big time, if you like. But I couldn't see it. I was a young guy then. Yeah. And I've had like a very varied career because for a while I stopped doing the singer-songwriting and all of this because I found myself as a single parent father. So I just, I couldn't do it. I had to look after the little boy. And so it took me quite a while before I actually got back into having a go at all this again. And then it would have been as far as 1989. Okay. I had a song then and it found a home on a vinyl LP compilation of various artists. And it even got reviewed in Q magazine, which doesn't exist anymore, but it used to. And it was called a highlight of the album. And I thought, there you are, I've made it now. Look, I'm in Q magazine. Wow. But it didn't really go much further than that. And I've had like lots of little kind of incidents in my career where you think, oh, this is so exciting. This is happening now. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm on the radio. Oh, I'm on all this stuff. But then often having been through that, then nothing happens for a while. So it's just like, for me, it's an ongoing journey. And I've had all kinds of things along the way on my journey. I've played Glastonbury Festival several times. I've been a compere, an MC, for the Avalon stage there, 2 years in a row. I played the Green Man Festival in Wales, which is how this started, by the way. People ask me, well, how did this green beard come about? Yeah. And I've done all kinds of things. I've been on TV quite a few times. In 2017, coming nearer to where we are now, I was on Britain's Got Talent, and I was doing Stand By Me. And I thought it was all going great. And I'd already been told in advance that, yes, Steve, you can invite the audience up. Because when I do Stand By Me, I do it with people standing by me, right?
Yeah.
And the audience all started coming up. And Simon Cowell freaked out. He couldn't handle this at all. He said, can we just get on with the song? And then the people coming up on the stage, and he said, oh, that's it. You can all go back to your seats now. And he hit his buzzer. So that was the end of it. But it was like a kind of a moment in time, which was like, wow, in some ways, because all this was happening. And of course, it went out on TV. So
and you
that
think
was
like him being an entertainer himself, when you pulled the crowd up there, you did something that none of the others had done. You moved the crowd physically.
I did. They all came up. Not only the crowd, right? Amanda Holden, who was one of the panel, the judges, she was doing all this. Amanda, really was getting into what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then when Simon hit his buzzer, David Williams hit his buzzer, Alicia hit hers, and she reached over and she hit Amanda's as well. And I was like, well, what's going on here? But basically, that was it. So, and I remember thinking, and I've thought since, was Simon actually just acting, being the bad guy? Because he's got to be, like, he's the horrible guy. And when all the good, and it was mainly girls that were on the stage, when all the girls were coming off the stage, because he said, oh, go back to your seat, he was making like really rude remarks to them all, like, oh, I don't like your dress and you can't, and all this nonsense. And I thought, is it just Simon maintaining his image of being
character?
It could well have been. But and the other thing was, as I said, all the backstage crew, they all knew what I was doing. I'd been like communicating with this girl by email for like months before all this. And she said, oh, yes, Steve, we want you to do Stand By Me. We want you to invite the audience up. So that's what I was doing. So, that was that. But that was a TV moment for me in 2017. But these days I'm over here in Portugal. I've had a varied life. I started in Wales, like I said. I lived in Tenerife in the Canary Islands for 9 years. And then I moved over here in 2014, towards the end of 2014. So I've been here since. Apart from, I've been back and forth to Wales a few times. But yeah, so.
I have to ask a little bit more about that green beard, because I love it. Green's my favorite color. And I know that, you are an environmentalist as well as an activist, with fighting plastic pollutions and things of that sort. I didn't know if that had to do with like Go Green.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I mentioned earlier, I was in the Green Man Festival, okay? Mm-hmm. And I had a little goatee beard at the time, which had gone grey, And I thought, okay, if I put some green dye in that, this is going to go down well with the image of the Green Man Festival. So I did it. And I was an MC, okay? So I was on and off the stage all day, like introducing acts and talking to people. And I was also performing. So people saw me up quite a bit that day. And people were coming up to me saying, oh, we love the beard. Oh, the beard's really cool. And so, of course, I'm saying thank you. But then I'm thinking, all right, but what's it going to be like when I get back into normal life, where I'm living? And it was the same. I got back into Ely, where I was living. And Ely, by the way, is part of Cardiff. And there were kids, coming up, Steve, like the beard, mate, that's cool. And so I thought, all right, so the teenagers like it where I'm living. The next day I had to go to the bank, and I went in the bank. I'm wondering, what are they going to make of this in the bank? The lady behind the counter, the cashier in the bank, she complimented me on the beard as well. So I thought, all right, festival goers like it, teenagers in this estate I live on like it, and a lady in the bank likes it. So the green beard is a hit, so I'll keep it. And you were on the right track, because the thing is that I've been a naturalist since I was a little boy, when I discovered nature, which for me was just amazing. It was just wow, just all these things, insects and all the creepy crawly things which I love, and lizards and frogs and butterflies and all the wild flowers, and all that stuff became my world when I was about 4 or 5, right? So I've kept going with that all through my life, being fascinated by nature. So the green reflects my love of nature. So it's part of my image. But it started at the Green Man Festival. And then, as I said, I was in Tenerife for a while, and I went for a job on a newspaper over there, the Tenerife Sun, right? And the editor, he asked me how long it took me to get there. And I said 2 hours, which was the truth. He said, all right, Steve, I can't expect you to spend like 2 hours coming here every day. So you haven't got, and you don't drive, so you haven't got the job. But because you're such a fascinating person, I want to give you a column. And I want a photo of you with that green beard. And so that's what, of course, that's what happened. So I had a column then, basically reporting on nature and gardening and stuff in Tenerife, in the Canary Islands. And that was where I saw that my green beard, was creating, effects in the world. It was creating results, which were great, because I got known then as the guy with the green beard who writes about nature, which is what I am. And then over the years, I grew it, okay? And I'm pretty sure it also got me through the audition for Britain's Got Talent, because one of the auditioning team, the first thing she said was she loved the beard. So I thought, thank you very much. So I think it really helped. So as I said, it's part of my image. It reflects who I am, my love of nature, my concern for nature, and that's it. So yeah, the green beard.
Isn't it amazing how one little change can change so many things? Responses of people, how they respond to you, how they look at you, how they take that and just grow from it.
That's right, Angie. And also I've kind of got used to it, is that people will come up to me on the street wherever I am and they say, oh, can we have a photo? And can we have a photo, with you and me? And of course, I always say yes. I'm not going to say no, go. So yes. So people take photos of me all over the place. And I had once, I was at an airport, okay, in Tenerife. This was crazy. I'd only just got there, been about 10 minutes, and some boy came up to me and he said, "Excuse me, mister, but can I take a photo of you and with some of my fellow children here?" So I said yes. So there were some children this side and some children that side, and this boy went back to take the photo of me and the other kids. And then some other kids turned up and they joined the crowd. And then and the one boy had to go like way back to get us all in the picture. And so they took this picture of me standing with a whole load of kids on both sides. Aww. And all of that happened with about 10 minutes of me arriving at the airport. And then they all said, "Oh, thank you very much." I go, "Thank you." And that was that. And then when I finally got on the plane, the hostess on the plane started talking to me about the green beard. So, it's a hit. I know that. I know that people like the green beard. And it helps me. It helps me in life, And as I said, it's a reflection of me. And also because I'm a bard, I'm known as the Bard of Ely, and I'm also known as the Green Bard. It goes together, it completely.
Yeah. Whew. Well, I love the green beard.
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. Now I know, doing some research and homework on you, you've also were in a series.
I was in what, sorry?
You were in a series?
In
a series?
A series?
A movie series?
A movie series.
About pyramids?
I know, but I was in... I thought you said so. In 1998, I was in a TV magazine series.
Okay.
And what I was doing then, I was being, again, this was to do with nature. I was being filmed in the countryside, talking about whatever I found. But what would happen was that the cameraman would drive somewhere into the country. We'd get out and he'd say, "All right, Steve, see what you can find." I'd get out, I'd find some plants or some trees or some insects or something. Then I'd let him know and he'd say, "All right, Steve, we film that." So that was what that was about. It was about me finding whatever I could in nature in the Welsh countryside. And there were 2 series of that. And it was called In Full View, which was a good title.
Yeah.
So yes, I did that, but I've been in various other things on TV. And I've been in a film, which is called, what is it called? Anyway, I've been in a film, and it's about the Guanche people in Tenerife, who were the people who lived in Tenerife, and I've done, quite a bit of like TV coverage. Also, I have like a lot of songs, and some of my songs have been used by TV. I'm just thinking one of my songs probably was my most successful, was I've got a song called King Arthur's Coming, okay?
Okay.
And I'm a druid, and I have a friend who runs a druid order who is King Arthur Uther Pendragon. And he often ends up in the news himself. And I wrote this song about him. And so when there are any programs that were featuring King Arthur Uther Pendragon, the druid leader, and he's also an eco warrior, they would often use my song. So that's something else.
Well, let me ask, where do you see yourself going in the future?
Where do I see my...
Because I know you've already done so much, and you've got so many missions and so many great things happening and all around you. So I have to ask, where do you see yourself going in the future? What do you plan on leaving behind?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. Like, I have like an absolutely massive mission, and I tell people, look, this is because it is massive. It's worldwide. What happened with me is I got really motivated to try and do something about all the damage being done to the ecosystem worldwide. And I focused on plastic, because you see plastic everywhere. And I thought, well, this is just terrible. And if you like, again, kind of motivated by Bob Dylan, who's a protest singer, I'm thinking, I'm going to write a protest song about plastic pollution. So I did. I wrote a song, Where Does All the Plastic Go? And then with that, like an idea came up as well. I thought, we had Live Aid. We've had this huge concert, Live Aid. We could have Ocean Aid. And this time it would be about focused on raising awareness about the oceans and for raising money for organizations trying to do something about saving the oceans. So I had that. This is why it's so massive, because it'll have to be like a stadium somewhere eventually. We haven't got there yet. So this is an ongoing thing. And I thought as well is that it's a worldwide thing, because the ocean is like, nobody owns the oceans, right? I also think it's Mother Ocean, because the ocean is the mother to all the life, So that was another motivating thing for me. I'm thinking, we got to take care of our mother because she's taking care of us. It's not just Mother Earth. It's not just Mother Nature. It's Mother Ocean as well. And Mother Ocean is where the life comes from, right? So I thought, okay, so this is what Live Aid is about. Live Aid is concert, and also I extended it to concerts, okay, plural, worldwide. To raise awareness and raise funds for organizations doing what they can to save the oceans. And so I tell everybody anytime I get a chance, like on the media, and I've got this chance now, so I'm telling you about Ocean Aid. And it has taken me to many places. For example, some people from the Rotary Club of Wyndham Harbour in Australia found me on Instagram. And they said, Steve, can we do a feature about you in our magazine, The Wave? So, of course, I said, yes, please. So that led me to actually joining a Rotary Club in Australia, even though I'm here in Portugal. And so I'm now a Rotarian. And I discovered very quickly that there were loads of environmentalists in Rotary. So I've met with some like amazing people who again are doing whatever they can to be like looking after the ecosystems and the world where they are. So that came about. I've been in, and I'm going to show you this. This was, I think, 3-4 years ago. This guy, Filippo Solibello from Italy, he contacted me and he said, Steve, I'm writing a book called Spam Stop Plastico Amare. And I just like to interview you about your song, Where Does All the Plastic Go? And I'll include you in my book. So, of course, I said, yes, please go for it. So he's given me a 4-page chapter in there. And he's talking about Ocean Aid as well, okay? And he said at the time, this was just before the COVID pandemic. And he said, when the book came out, right? And he said, look, do you mind if I tell people in Italy about Ocean Aid? I said, no, I want Ocean Aid, people to know about. I want this to happen, if it happens in Italy, great. And he was actually like touring Italy, promoting his book. And I was going to go over to Italy, and he even got a copy of this book to the Pope. Okay. The Pope has got this book, and that went out in the media over there in Italy. And I was thinking, yeah, okay, I'm going to go to Italy now. But then the pandemic hit, and it hit Italy really badly. So then that kind of didn't happen. But then other people since then from various places have been contacting me. I've been on the radio in Ireland. I've been on the radio in Spain. I've been on the radio in New York on Ecologic show. And what else? And I'm here in Portugal. How can I forget this? I got a full page in the Portugal news.
Oh, look at that. With a beautiful butterfly. Is that a monarch?
That's a butterfly. That's a monarch. Yeah, and that's something else. But I think we've got a song about that. But I'm getting too mixed up now. But anyway, that was Portugal, right? Yes. But I am going to say this while I think of it. There was something amazing which just happened in the last week. Okay. This in my book. I'll just show you in my book. In this book here, Saving Mother Ocean, right? There is a chapter in which I talk about heroes, and I talk about gods, and I talk about Poseidon, and I talk about Neptune, and I talk about the superhero Aquaman. And so the guy that wrote this put that in the title.
I see.
Poseidon, Neptune, and Aquaman stand by me. Because he knows I do stand by. Okay. So what I'm leading to, which was amazing, was that Jason Momoa was here in Lisbon last week, okay, for the United Nations Ocean Conference.
Oh, that's awesome.
And of course, he got a lot of media, and he's now like an ambassador for the UN for the oceans, right? And I thought, wow, he is the Aquaman star. I had mentioned Aquaman in my book. This had gone out in the paper, and now we have the Aquaman star here in Lisbon, right, for the Ocean Conference. So all of that's coming together,
Magic.
So yeah, magic, yes, completely.
I love it. You got my hair standing up on my arms, Steve.
and you asked me, like, where am I going? I don't know. I'm just getting all this out. I suppose I'm creating magic. I'm creating magic to help. The greatest magic of all for me is life on this planet, which is from Mother Ocean, Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And we're all part of that. So that's what I'm doing.
And you've got several songs, several albums out there. You have this new one coming out, Mother Nature Rap.
I've got Mother Nature Rap is out. Yes. And there's a music video that goes with that, which was made here in Portugal. And I've got this shirt on, by the way. But
I love that shirt.
And I just forgot, and I shouldn't have forgotten this at all, because this is most important. This is a magazine from Wales. As I said, I'm originally from Wales. This magazine, this is called Sund. Sund, by the way, in Welsh means sound.
Okay.
And I've got a 2-page spread in here talking about Ocean Aid. Right. And the guy that runs this label wants to put out a various artists compilation album, okay, for Ocean Aid, with all money going to Sea Shepherd, okay? And on the subject of Sea Shepherd, Captain Paul Watson, who founded Sea Shepherd, has endorsed my book. And Captain Paul knows what I'm doing.
Congratulations.
So, thank you very much. Thank you.
That's awesome. All these beautiful things, Steve.
Thank you. And so there's lots of stuff like going on, and I've got like links with all kinds of, people and stuff happening. And
how did you get linked up with Wake Up Rise Up? With
who, sorry?
Wake Up Rise Up.
Wake Up Rise Up. Ah, yes. Somebody asked me that the other day, and somebody sent me an email. That was the answer. I can't remember who sent it. I get a lot of emails, right? And I got this email, and I thought, what's this? Wake Up, Rise Up, to do with peace. Okay, I thought, okay, I want in. Right, I want in. because I've been very much linked with peace for a long time, and sometimes with remarkable, magical, if you like, things happening. For example, I told you I used to live in Tenerife for a while, and I worked at a Spanish school there in a place called GARAGEM, right? Now, what happened was I'd only been there, I think it was 2 weeks, and I found that all the children were learning Imagine by John Lennon. Fantastic song. John Lennon, another of my heroes, right?
Great message in that song.
Yeah. But anyway, I said to the teacher, it was an English teacher, Goretti, her name was, I said, Goretti, I got a song that's a song calling for peace as well, and I think you might like it. And so she said, all right, Steve, because I used to take my guitar in, because I used to play guitar to the kids. Let's hear the song. So I played the song to Goretti. She said, oh, this is great. Yes, we want this as well. And why this was important at that particular point in time was they were going to have a peace day, peace day for the school. And so we had like lyric sheets printed off for my song, which the children had, as well as Imagine by John Lennon. And so they had to learn the chorus of my song. So on peace day, which happened, we had, I'm on the stage with a guitar and a microphone singing the song. The English teacher and, a lot of the kids are up on the stage as well. And they're all singing the chorus line, which is, we all need a real love and communication. Yes, we do. They all sung that. And then after I finished and after the event finished, one of the boys, whose name was Juan, he came up to me and he said, Steve, I just want to tell you, your song is really beautiful. And I think it is better than this John Lennon song. And I thought, wow, what a compliment. You cannot get a greater compliment than this from a boy, so I think he was 10 or 11. And wow. And so all that happened. And I remember thinking to myself, this is in a way quite weird. Like here I am in a Spanish school, singing a song in English, which I wrote. And I'm singing it, and the children are singing the John Lennon song as well. And it was something I nearly forgot. It's easy for me. What happened as well, which was incredible, was I used to start the song with the Druid's Oath, right? And the Druid's Oath goes, we swear by peace and love to stand, heart to heart and hand in hand. Mark, O Spirit, and hear us now, confirming this, our sacred vow. Right. So they all learned that as well. So we used to do that. And I thought, the children here in a Spanish school are learning the Druid's Oath from the UK, from wherever it came from, basically. And it's with my song for peace. But this has got to be good,
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of magic, if you like, that I wanted to share.
Well, you're definitely a gift.
Thank you.
Steve, can I ask you about Mother Nature Rap, the song there?
Oh, yeah, please do. Yeah, Mother Nature Rap. Now, the words came to me. Oh, and by the way, this is what usually happens. I don't really class myself as much of a musician as such because, I'm giving it away now. With a guitar, I'm not much of a guitarist. I play chords, I'm one of these people, give me a 3-chord trick and I can do that, But it's never worried me because I've thought, if I can back myself with whatever chords I come up with, and it works for my song, people like the song, that's fine. And I had the words come to me from Mother Nature Rap, which is what usually happens. I can't kind of think, I'm going to sit down and write this now. What usually happens, an idea comes, and then from the idea, the rest of it comes. Right. And I wrote my words down. And I've never really, to be honest, I've never really been into rap music. It's a bit, I don't know. But anyway, I thought, no, I got to give it a go. Because there were so many people love rap music and hip hop music, and it's such a popular genres, and I'm trying to get my message out, and I'm also thinking maybe there isn't anybody else in rap and hip hop doing this kind of stuff. I don't hear anybody singing about Mother Nature,
Me neither.
So anyway, I thought, okay, I'm going to give it a go. So I actually did some research online, which was kind of funny because I thought, what chords are used for rap? And I found some site and it said D minor is the chord that's most often used. Only the one chord. Well, that's easy enough. So I got my guitar out, I was strumming the D minor, I was trying to sing the Mother Nature rap over it, it worked. I went to a studio here in Portugal, in this town I live in, which is Quinta do Conde. And I told the guy there that runs the studio, Ricardo, his name is, Ricardo Verdelho, I said, look, I want to do a rap song. I've never done rap music before. I'm kind of an acoustic guitarist. And do you think you could put a backing track together? He said, yes, I can do that, Steve. So we recorded me, strumming the D minor chord, right, and singing the song, the Mother Nature rap. Mm-hmm. And then I had to give him like some time, maybe I think it was a week later or something. He got me the rest of the backing track he'd put together. And I thought, yeah, that's great. But then what happened then is I sent it to my friend Crum. Crum, by the way, has been in the band Hawkwind. And I don't know if you know the band Hawkwind, they had one huge hit many years ago, which was Silver Machine.
Okay.
You know that song? I just took a ride. I'm a silver machine. That one, Lemmy was in the band. Usually I get as far as I say, okay, what about Lemmy? Most people have heard of Lemmy. Anyway, Crum had played in Hawkwind and he plays synthesizer. And Crum said he'd put some synthesizer on my song. So I said, yes, please. So we did that. So Crum put synthesizer and piano on the song. And that has created like an even better version of Mother Nature rap to what was, created here in this studio in Quinta do Conde. And so that's how the song came about. And then Daz, who was in Crum's new band, Star Rats, he created a video to go with it. And, sorry, what am I talking about? This is Time for Ocean Aid is what I'm talking about. But it's also true, you see, that Crum did put synthesizer on both these songs, Time for Ocean Aid and Mother Nature Rap. And then what happened with Mother Nature Rap is my friend Pedro Augusto Almeida, who's a filmmaker here, I asked him if he could make a music video to go with Mother Nature Rap. So we did that and we recorded, or rather he filmed some of me in a studio here, the Nimbo studio, which is outside Setúbal. And then we went to another place called Sende, which is like a co-working space. It's an amazing place. They call it a co-working space, and it's out in the countryside, and like shots of me dancing about in the wood. And all of this was like cobbled together to make this video, which is the music video for Mother Nature Rap. And it's gone out there. And it was actually featured in a hip hop site, and it's been called hip hop music. So although I don't know what it is, it's my song, but it's basically, it's got that kind of rap structure. And so that's that one. Time for Ocean Aid is out there as well. I got the music video for that. And they're both, both the songs, they kind of follow on from in me and from me, from Where Does All the Plastic Go? They're songs saying, look, we got to do something about all this mess we're making here. The ocean's important, the forests, and somebody I mentioned, I think she's great, Greta Thunberg. Greta also often talks about, we got to take action now, not next week, next year or whatever, but now, this is important. And I think and I believe that as well, we got to take action now. And so when all this started for me, it was because I am a singer-songwriter. I thought, well, one way I can take action is write some songs about it. Right. And then it's all kind of following on from there. So it's like, as I said earlier, like the Ocean Aid thing is just massive. It's already getting me like features in different places around the world. And and this is the one I'm on now. This is the one that I'm about to be trying to do here in Portugal. I went to the UN, the Ocean Conference, right? And I thought, look, this United Nations conference is happening here in Portugal. It's getting loads of media coverage. It's getting really famous people, including Jason Momoa here. It's a Sylvia Earle. I met Sylvia Earle, okay? Somebody, I just think she's amazing, right? All these people coming to Portugal for the United Nations Ocean Conference. I thought, what about Portugal hosts the Ocean Aid, the concert for that? And we have like really big, successful outdoor concerts here. I've been to some of them. We have Rock in Rio Lisboa, okay? We have Nos Primavera and Nos Sound, okay? And these are like, they get massive stars. I saw Bruce Springsteen playing here in the Rock in Rio one. I've seen Alice Cooper rock in Rio and the Hollywood Vampires. In Porto, the Nos concert, I saw Brian Wilson. Okay, so this is the kind of act that you can get here already playing in Portugal. And I thought, look, if I can convince one of these big concert promoters to say, yes, we'll give it a go. We'll make Portugal not only the place of the United Nations Ocean Conference, but for the Ocean Aid concert, So that's what I'm going to try and do. This is why I said this is the next thing that I'm gonna have a go at, and I think there's so much in place. And when I say that there's so much in place, I can tell you, and maybe you don't know, but Sea Shepherd I mentioned, that Captain Paul knows what I'm doing. That Steven Tyler, he supports Sea Shepherd. Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones, he supports Sea Shepherd. Okay, the band Coldplay, who are, I think, touring the world at the moment, Coldplay supports Sea Shepherd. So there are already like really big name music acts that would say, yes, we want in to help Sea Shepherd, So it could be like, wow, just a massive, massive concert. And what taking it down scale a little bit as well, I thought maybe a year ago, look, Ocean Aid doesn't only have to be a massive concert. It can also be little concerts. It can be concerts wherever you are. So I started trying to put that message out as well. So, when I'm talking to people in Italy or Australia or Ireland or whatever, I say, yeah, look, if anybody wants to go ahead and put on an Ocean Aid concert with acts from where you are, then please do it, because I think we need the more Ocean Aid concerts in the more places, the better. Because I think, and I feel this, I think that it's almost like a responsibility that I feel that we got to do something about saving our mother, She gives us life. We shouldn't be trashing her. We shouldn't be making all this mess. We should be saying, look, Mom, we're sorry. We love you. We live here. You give us life. Let's help and clear up all this mess we've made, So that's what I'm about. And I think the more people that feel that and the more people that can come forward, the better.
Well, I love your mission. And I got you 100%. I support you and I support this cause.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely beautiful, and it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. So, I thank you for going ahead and being selfless.
I'll tell you, hard work, it's like there's a kind of motto that you probably heard from other people about, to keep on keeping on.
That's right.
That is a motto of mine. I don't actually think that you can just get something just like that because you want something. Right. You've got to put the work in. We've all got to put the work in. And if I look at nature, which is, if you like, maybe my greatest inspiration, I look at nature, I see an amazing work being done all the time. I can just step outside this house where I am in Portugal. I can see ants all over the place. Ants, what amazing work they do. You see, lines of them, maybe carrying something or building a new little home somewhere.
The strongest animals on earth.
Or, whatever they're doing. And they've been doing this for millions of years, like all this work the ants do. I can find another of the social insects, a wasp. Look at all the work they do. They make nests out of wood pulp. They collect the wood. They build all this. And the bee, and we're losing the bees, something else we got to be doing something about. We got to save all these insects. Absolutely. Right? So, look at the work the insects do. Incredible. And then if I think about any mother animal, look at all the work the mother animals do. I think
Mama
about
Jo's never
birds.
done.
No, this is true.
And
It's
you
true.
were a single dad, so being a dad was like being mom and dad at the same time.
A lot of work. Yeah, it's all a lot of work. So I don't think it doesn't surprise me that I find myself have to do a lot of work trying to get all this happening. And because I said, like, I keep on keeping on. So if something comes to me, I have a go at it. If some words come to me, I think this is a good song, this is important, then I try and do something with that, And because this is like, I'm concentrating on world environmental health, if you like, and problems at the same time. I'm thinking, I got to go worldwide. It's no good saying, oh, I'm just here in Portugal, or I was just here in Wales, or no. I want people worldwide to be, coming in on this. And someone I mentioned earlier, like Greta Thunberg has done that. She's known worldwide now. And she has inspired young people all over the world to come forward and take to the streets and do the climate strike and all of this. So, it works. We have to call on people worldwide.
And we've got to plant those seeds, Steve.
That's right. We got to plant those seeds.
That's right.
And
How about we go ahead and listen to Mother Nature rap?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Please, let's listen to Mother Nature rap.
Yes, let's do this. Yay! Steve Andrews, everyone. Absolutely. Like, share, and subscribe. Here we go with Mother Nature's rap.
You wanted a utopia, you're living in dystopia. Too many people with myopia in the world today. Mother Nature don't care about neatness, so leave the wildflowers grow. Help to save the wildlife, you reap what first you sow. Mother Nature ain't here for your dream, you're in hers, so let it be. Respect all her creations and go and hug a tree. But all the forests you've cut down, you know that should never have been. The mother's lungs have been cut out. It's happened, but it's obscene. The oceans you filled with plastic and the land you poisoned badly. We're in the beginning of the end and the future's looming sadly. The children know what's happening and the grown-ups have let them down. The Arctic ice is melting and the cities on the coast could drown. You wanted a utopia, you're living in dystopia. Too many people with myopia in the world today. Mother Nature don't care about neatness, so leave the wildflowers grow. Help to save the wildlife, you reap what first you sow. Mother Nature ain't there for your dream, you're in hers, so let it be. Respect all her creations and go and hug a tree. But all the forests you've cut down, you know that should never have been. The mother's lungs have been cut out. It's happened, but it's obscene. The oceans you fill with plastic and the land you poison badly. We're in the beginning of the end and the future's looming sadly. The children know what's happening and the grown-ups have let them down. The Arctic ice is melting and the cities on the coast could drown. You wanted a utopia, you're living in dystopia. Too many people with myopia in the world today. You wanted a utopia, you're living in dystopia. Too many people with myopia in the world today. You wanted a utopia, you're living in dystopia. Too
Beautiful, Steve. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think I lost the top of my head. I love your lyric writing and the catchiness, and that the beat and the way that you went ahead and you took the music, and at one point you kind of made it like an echo and then came back full force. It was beautiful.
It is, but I didn't do the music. I just wrote the. I just, as I say.
Yes.
Ricardo.
It was amazing to everyone that
Crum, and,
was involved in that. Beautiful, beautiful job.
And I'd just like to say that, if I may, that collaboration is very important for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to work with other people. I like to put in like what I can do. Like I can write a song, but if other people can produce it and can put different instruments on it, and in this case, Pedro made the video as well. So it's teamwork. I think teamwork's important.
Absolutely, absolutely. You built up this big thing with where did all the plastic go? And like, I want to listen to that song like right away.
Okay.
Because you talk so much about it, and then it's a great message.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I love your writing style. Your writing style is amazing, and we gotta make sure our froggies stay safe. All of our little
Frogs.
insects and animals.
Well, that's something else. That's another huge part of my life, right? I'm a member of Save the Frogs. Okay.
Yay!
I absolutely love frogs and
Me
toads.
too. I've got frogs everywhere in here. I love green. I love frogs. You're awesome. Let's go ahead and let's save the plastic, shall we?
Yes,
Save
please.
the oceans. Put that plastic someplace else, but not in our seas. Have respect and love for our earth, our oceans, our plants, our animals, nature, and people. Be kind. Here we go. Let's see. Where does all the plastic go?
Plastic plants, what about real plants? I saw the fake ones at the store. People must want them, people must buy them. I don't want to see anymore. Where does all the plastic go? Into the sea, into the sea. How does it get there? Who threw it away? Was it you or was it me? It's not hunting that'll kill the last whale. Plastic will do it, it's a very sad tale. And all the albatrosses are dying out too. They keep on fishing in the oceans. Plastic stew. Where does all the plastic go? Into the sea, into the sea. How does it get there? Who threw it away? Was it you or was it me? The plastic bag I bought, it very quickly broke. If it ever gets burned, there'll be poisonous smoke. Where does all the plastic go? Into the sea, into the sea. How does it get there? Who threw it away? Was it you or was it me? Plastic kills the turtles and it's eaten by the fish. Plastic's in the food chain and the dinner on your dish. Where does all the plastic go? Into the sea, into the sea. How does it get there? Who threw it away? Was it you or was it me? Was it you or was it me? Was it you or was it me?
And we're listening and watching Steve Andrews, and that was just Where Did All the Plastic Go? Yay! I'm loving it, Steve. I'm loving your message. I'm loving you. You're awesome. Save the frogs. Yes. Beautiful job, Steve.
Thank you.
Like I said, your writing style is amazing, and you could tell you're writing from in here.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what comes from me. I can't kind of sit down and it's what I feel, and it happens.
Beautiful. All right, Steve. I gotta ask you about another song here. Are you ready?
I am, yes.
Time for Oceanade.
Time for Oceanade. Okay. Is it time for Oceanade now?
It's time for
It is time for Oceanade.
I love this. And we need to get this done. Steve, I have to ask, is there like a website like oceanade.com or something at this point that has been established yet? Or is that something still in the near
This
future
is
to
something
come?
else massive I've got to do. I'm not a business person, you know, but somebody could you know, who is a business person could put that together, could say, oh yeah, let's have an Oceanade organization and let's have all these things you have, you know, treasurers and CEOs and all that stuff. And it could become like a huge organization like Greenpeace or Sea Shepherd or something. But it doesn't exist, you know, like that yet, because it's basically me, you know.
Right. Oh, well, Steve, you've done an incredible job. You've been like a one-man army. And just using that green beard and saying, green light, go.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And I remembered the name of the film after. It's Savages in Foreign Lands was the name of the film.
Beautiful.
Do we need this?
Do we need this? Yeah, we're going to put all that in there because I'm going to share all of that information here in the credits. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that time for Oceanade because it's definitely the time, Steve. We need to step up and we need to join together to make this happen.
Yeah, we do. And like I tried to say earlier, like my focus has become doing something about, you know, the world problems, the environmental. So maybe like I'm not thinking about a film that I was in years ago, which was very important to me at the time, which was another subject, which was about the pyramids and the Guanche people who used to live in the Canary Islands. So that was then. And so I'm very much a person that goes from, you know, this is what I'm doing now. This is what I was doing then. And sometimes it's like I'm all over the place trying to, you know, with the time thing, you know.
Yeah. And isn't it amazing, though, when you sit back and you're like, wow, I did this and I did this. And it just doesn't seem like there's enough time in lifetime that you've actually been able to do all of that. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Like, it's also weird. Like I can, like, you can say, like, what year was that? And maybe it was 10 years. Oh, it was 20 years. And is it really 10 years? Was it really 20 years ago? Because it's almost like I've lost, you know, sense over being able to track like how long something is. So it's just, this happened, you know, and I'm just as bad with people's ages. I don't know how old anybody is, you know, and sometimes it's like, that's really weird, you know, that you can meet somebody that you saw, last time you saw them, they were a baby, and now they're a teenager, you know, and they're like, wow, so where did all that time go? You know,
that's right.
Where did all the time go? It's a question I often ask.
Yeah, it's a great song title too.
Yeah, it is. yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's check out Time for
Let's go.
Oceanade.
Time for Oceanade. It is
It's time. Here we go.
We've got to save the birds. We've got to save the leaves. We've got to save the forests. We've got to save the seas. When I look at all the mess we made, I think it's time for Oceanade.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And with you. Like I just can't stop moving. Your music and
With,
your lyrics, the message in the music, it stands out so much.
Thank you. And I just got to say, I'm releasing that song again. On the 28th of this month. I just thought the date. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm putting it out as just me and the guitar. Before Crum put the synthesizer and the piano and all of that on it, this is just me and the guitar. It's just like, and actually Ricardo, the guy that recorded me, he said, yeah, Bob Dylan could do it with just the guitar, which is what, the original Bob that, I heard all those years ago was just Bob and his guitar and a harmonica, and it worked. And so that's the next version of Time for Ocean Aid. It's just me and the guitar, and it's coming out at the end of the month. So
I'm so excited for you.
So I'll send you that as well. I got all these things maybe to send you, and I'll send you about that film as well, because it was fantastic at the time.
Yes.
And
like I said, I am totally amazed by you. This is a great honor to be, meeting you and talking with you today. And the mission that you're on is just, it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I wish there were more people in this world like you.
Well, thank you so much. And I wish that there were more people that were doing so. And this is why I'm coming back to Greta, why I think Greta is amazing. Greta has motivated so many people worldwide. And I think she's wonderful, and I don't know if you know, but she was recently at Glastonbury. She was speaking on the stage at Glastonbury. And I thought, fantastic, because there were so many people at that festival, And so Greta has not stopped. She's just been full on getting whatever she wants to say out to the people. She's doing it. And it came from her heart, as I'm sure you know. She felt like she got to do something. And it was making her ill, not doing anything.
And that's the problem. There are too many people that turn their heads and don't do anything.
Yeah. That's why I say in my song, too many people with myopia, that they don't see where we're going with all this, And the thing that I think is terrible is that I'm sure there are lots of, people that run big organizations, companies, manufacturers, politicians, all these people that can see where we're going, do know what's going on, and don't care, because they're thinking about how much money is coming in. That's their God, that's their goal, making more money. And that's the problem,
It is.
And
well, Steve, I have to ask you, because we need to tell you we need to fight all this negativity with love.
That's right, we have.
And I love aliens too. And I want to share Citizens of Earth, and this is an animation. Can you tell me about this?
This song, right, it's another song that came, and this is an old song. I wrote this back in the 1980s, I think. No, maybe the 1990s, in the 1990s. And it was recorded a few years ago in a professional studio, and then somebody else has put this animated video for it and everything. But it was a song that I felt. It's just about the situation that we're all in, and I make kind of reference to an old TV series which was The Prisoner. I don't know if you've ever seen this. You know the one with Patrick McGowan?
I've heard of it.
Number 6. Okay.
I read more than watch things.
Okay, but I saw that, when I was young, and I thought, wow, because it's basically, it covered the world situation, that we're trapped, and that there are each series started with him saying, I'm a free man, I'm not a number, I won't be filed, I won't, and he's trying to escape all the time, and from this village where they put him. And each one that they say, we want information. He says, you won't get it. So it's basically just like one guy's fight against the forces of control, Yeah. And I saw that series when I was a young guy, and it made a big impression on me then. So in my song, I say, I'm not just another number in this land, is what I'm saying, is my lyric. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, everybody is an individual here, and we're all individual children of Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Mother Ocean. And we got to do what, we shouldn't be thinking about how much more money can we make. That's where it's all gone wrong. That's what I think. I think really that money is the root of all evil. I think that's, probably true,
Absolutely. Money is the root of all evil, but then also the negativity that consumes. It spreads like wildfire. And so
Yeah.
the only way to kill the hate is to fight it with love.
Yeah, I agree. Which brings me to John Lennon and peace. And, I say to people, I've often got people on my wall that mean a lot to me, and I've got John and Yoko on the wall just over there, right? And I got Bob Marley over there, and I got the Beatles, and if you go in my bedroom, I've got the DC Legends of Tomorrow, because I'm completely into superheroes,
Awesome. Yeah, the art, the creativity with singers, songwriters, musicians, it's amazing, and it's actually connected and bonded many of us. And it's beautiful when you see that, and especially like I know, you've worked with artists outside of where you're located to make collaborations and connections and bonds and family and friendship with people that you've never met in person on, the same level, and to be able to just be so creative in yourself is just the most beautiful thing.
Thank you, and I agree, and it's what I'm doing, and I for me, with the pandemic and the lockdowns, it didn't really stop me doing anything, because we've got the internet, amazing technology, so like we're doing now, we can be talking to somebody somewhere else, and let's do this, and what happened with me, which was amazing, and I haven't told you about this, was amazing, was that would have been 2020 March. Okay, I just got back here from Wales, by the way, and lockdown was just starting here. It hadn't started in the UK. So I came into this strange world of lockdown, but a friend of mine from Canada introduced me to the Ruin Who show from New York.
Beautiful.
I don't know if you know this lady, Rue Starr, okay? She's well known in New York. I went to the first Ruin Who show online, okay, which was a whole load of different people and musicians, mostly in New York, playing songs online. And I thought, this is great. So I became a regular on the Ruin Who show. This is also how I became on the Ecologic show from New York. And I met some amazing people, and I'm still friends with these people, and it's just fantastic. And one of my friends that I met in the Ruin Who show was Stephen Friedland, who is also known as Brute Force. Do you know him?
No.
And what a guy, Brute Force. I mean, he's amazing. I think he's 81 now, okay? But he's still completely rock and rolling, and he went through the experience years and years ago. John Lennon and George Harrison supported what he was doing and wanted him on the Apple label because of his song, The King of Fur. If you just Google this, The King of Fur, Brute Force. So he was actually signed to Apple, and the single was released, okay? And then the forces, the powers that be, said, oh, no, we can't have this. It's got the fur word in it. And although it's not the actual fur word because it hasn't got the CK in it, the King of Fur, they stopped it going out. They stopped it for Capital, and EMI stopped the distribution. And that was the end of it. And that was the experience he went through. And there were interviews with him, Stephen Friedland, Brute Force. What a man. He had to get his head around that. Just when he thought, this is I've made it. I got Beatles backing me. I'm on the Apple label. George Harrison has spoken to me. Oh, wow. Then, no, sorry, can't have that. And he realized that he was doing something which was very difficult to do, which was to have a song with the fur word in it, even though it wasn't the fur word, and get that out worldwide. No, we can't have that. So I met him on that show, and we're very good friends. And I've got his Pledge of Allegiance here, which is amazing. I just read you it. I pledge allegiance to my planet and to the universe all around, and within me one spirit indivisible with eternity for all. That's by my friend. And again, what I'm saying, all of this came about in the pandemic lockdown because of this technology that I can be talking to people in New York.
Yes, the pandemic in some cases has been a blessing in disguise.
I would agree, yeah, and I think that, you know, we can always find a good side to stuff. You know, when you say, "Oh, this is really," it's not like that. There are always like more shades. You know, it's not just black and white. You know,
right.
There's always a grey side. There's always a neutral part of it. There's always different ways of seeing things, and you know, and I always look for the good. You know, and like in people, I can always find some good in people. And you can find the most terrible people, but there's still some good in them somewhere. You know.
That's right.
And I think that's what it's like. I think that, you know, the more shades of everything you can see, the better. That's how I think.
Absolutely. And we all need to remember we are all citizens of Earth.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let's check that out,
And
Steve.
by the way, I just have something that I often think about and I say to people is that every single person on this planet, including the people who are thought of as the most horrific people, the psychopaths and the terrible criminals and all that, they all started out as cute little baby boys or girls at one point, you know, and so, you know, whatever happened to them is whatever happened to them that caused them to become who they became. Yeah, they weren't like that to begin with. They were beautiful, cute, innocent little babies, and that's something to think about. No?
Yes. And like they say, it takes a village to raise a child, but too many villages have closed windows, locked doors, and started doing things behind them that shouldn't have been done and turning that eye. You know, like if we got in trouble, you know, or we were doing something we weren't supposed to at a park, our parents knew before we got home. You know, they might not call us to come home right away. They might let us, you know, see if we get in trouble ourselves. But they knew by the time we got home. Today, that doesn't happen.
You're right.
Too many people have gone ahead, just like the plastic in the ocean. They've kind of not cared. You know, it doesn't have to do with me. No,
That's
but it
right.
does.
Oh, Angie, you're spot on. That is a big part of the whole problem. And there's too many people just think about themselves. You know, that's part of the problem. You know, it's like, oh, it's, as you just said, it's nothing to do with me. You know, we just leave it. You know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it is all to do with all of us. Everything is to do with all of us. That's it. You know, and that's what people, I think, have got to wake up to.
Absolutely. Well, let's be citizens of Earth, shall we, Steve?
Yes. Let's go for it.
Let's do it. Oh, Steve, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. And, I think Bob Dylan would have been very proud with you on those lyrics.
Well,
Your writing structure, though, in that song,
yeah.
the repetitive line and things, he would have been very proud of you.
Well, maybe one day, maybe I'll meet Bob, or he'll, maybe he's already heard of me. I don't know. We never know.
Yeah.
And what I did go to see Bob in concert in London. Was it 2-3 years ago with Neil Young, another of my heroes. I traveled all the way from here, Portugal, so I had to go and see Bob and Neil in concert in Hyde Park.
You're amazing.
Thank you. Well, so are you.
Thank you. I have to ask you about the butterfly in the beard. Butterflies have been something very special for me. I know they're special for you too.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Look, if I play this song like live, which I do often, sometimes online live, but I have a butterfly. Let me get it. Hang on.
Okay, yay! We get to see his butterfly. Yay. I'm so excited. Everyone, we are watching Steve Andrews.
There's a butterfly. I put the butterfly in my beard.
Oh, that's awesome. And it's a beautiful monarch.
And I rear monarchs, as well. So I really have had a butterfly in my beard. And in my song, which you'll hear, I sing, they call me the bug man on the news one time. And I also talk about a Madagascan cockroach, got plenty of you. There it is. This is like a real event. I was once in the South Wales Echo, right?
Wow.
And it says, and it's the Madagascan cockroach on my head, which the photographer that came, the reporter, he said, well, Steve, now if you can put one of those cockroaches on your head, yeah, that's great. And then he took it. And it says, special world of insects for Steve. Bugman Steve Andrews loves coming eye to eye with the insect world. So that's where that came from. And actually nothing much has changed, because this was whenever this was. This was 1996, okay? I was keeping insects at that point, and I'm keeping insects now. So that's how that started. And there's a girl over here, Sarah, and she made me this butterfly, and she calls me the butterfly man. So that's how that came about. And I've now got what's coming out next year. I've got this butterfly book.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is awesome. Yeah, butterflies are amazing insects. Amazing. And they don't get enough credit. Everybody looks at them and says they're beautiful, and they see the color on the outside, but they don't see how amazing they are, how far they can fly, how long they live, all the things that they do. I mean,
Oh, you're so right, Angie. Like what we were talking about work, the work that they do. Like some of them, as you say, maybe they fly thousands of miles, And that's something I talk about. The female butterflies have to find the right plant. It's not just good enough leaves. The caterpillars, they need the right leaves. So a female, she has to fly however far she has to fly to find the plants to lay her eggs on. That's what she has to do.
yeah.
All of them are amazing. All of them have like their own stories, which are incredible. And they all have to do a lot of work to get there, And the moths as well. And some of the moths are just completely, like almost mind-bogglingly weird,
Yeah.
Like I talk in my book about the moths that haven't got any mouths, they can't feed, they haven't even got any wings in some cases, but they have to do what they have to do. And maybe the caterpillars look absolutely amazing. I'm just thinking of one that I talk about called the vapor moth. The female vapor moth, right? She can't fly, she can't eat, but her caterpillar looks stunningly amazing. It's got like little tufts of colored fur all over it, and you see it and you think, oh, wow, look at that, And eventually it turns into the female moth, She can't do anything. The male can, but he can't eat either, but he can fly. But he has to fly and he has to find the female moth. That's his job. And it's like all the creatures, they've all got the jobs that they have to do. They know what they got to do and they get on with it. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. If it means we've got to travel 1,000 miles, we travel 1,000 miles, which is
And our
what the
poor
monarchs.
bees. Our
That's
poor
right.
bees too.
And
You
the
know?
bee. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, well, I didn't say, because you did ask about, like, you know, when I was growing up. My grandpa was a beekeeper, right? So when I was a little boy, I used to spend a lot of time with my granddad, and he had beehives, and he also had, I don't know what you call them in America, but in the UK, we call them allotments. He had like allotment where you grow vegetables, right? And it was by a railway bank, and there were lizards on the railway bank. So I'm seeing lizards and I'm seeing bees and I'm finding out about all this. And I used to help my granddad with his allotment and his vegetables and everything. And I grew up with that. So that all went into me as well. So there was a lot of stuff. And all through my life, I'm getting stuff coming in, which is making the me that you see, if you like, what, you know, you say, well, Steve, you're like, you know, why do you think that? Or why it's because of, I've experienced something, or I've learned from somewhere, or I've spent a lot of time with something, and it shapes how I think.
Yeah.
And
Your thinking starts evolving, and so do you, because what people see on the outside, and then when you perform and you sing and you give your great messages and your lyrics, your beauty's shining out and spreading.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
So I love it, Steve. Let's go ahead. Let's check out Butterflies in My Beard.
Okay, yeah, let's go for it.
I love butterflies.
I had a butterfly in my beard, oh yeah. I had a butterfly in my beard, oh yeah. I had a butterfly in my beard. It looked pretty strange, it looked pretty weird. I had a butterfly in my beard, oh yeah. They called me the bug man on the news one time. They called me the bug man on the news one time. They called me the bug man on the news. A hissing cockroach on my head got plenty of views. They called me the bug man on the news one time. Say yeah, yeah. Make a butterfly and fly with me. Say yeah, yeah. Make a butterfly and fly with me. Go anywhere and be really free. Make a butterfly and fly with me. Say yeah, say yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful, Steve. I was cheering along with that one too.
Thank you. Yeah. And make butterflies. This is how we make a butterfly. And this is something I get people everywhere making butterflies.
I get people to make hearts. You make me a heart, Steve.
Yeah, make a heart. Yeah.
Yep. There's a couple ways you could do it that way, or you could take your thumbs and you bend them and put them together. So you got your butterfly, but the reverse butter. Yep,
Okay,
there you
let's see.
go.
Heart.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, make a heart.
See? Yeah. And you can flip that heart into the butterfly. Love the butterfly.
You know what? I'm going to practice that one.
Yeah, you take your thumbs and you bend them
I got
here,
my,
and you put your knuckles of your
There's
thumbs
my-
together.
there's the heart, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I go just about.
There it is.
I got the general idea there.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, Steve, this has been so awesome. If you went ahead and you had to give advice to someone out there that was an up and coming singer songwriter, or that wanted to get involved in, the environment and stepping forward and making change for tomorrow, what advice would you give them?
Well, I think I've already given the advice like earlier when I was talking. I think that the one thing as a singer-songwriter, or not just a singer-songwriter, it could be anything, could be an author, which I also am, or a poet, or a dancer, or an actor, or whatever you want to be, whatever you want to do, I think is you just keep going. It's like I said, I keep on keeping on. So, and don't worry about what people think or even what they don't think. It's just like, you know what you're trying to do, you know what you want to say, and you do it, and you don't just you keep doing it. That's my advice on that. And
Life's a garden, dig it, right? That movie,
Yeah.
Joe Dirt, had so many inspiring quotes.
Yeah, you just just do it, and I think about taking action. I think again, I think it's whatever comes from you. It's like what you feel, what you if you think I could do something, you go and you try and do it. And because we all have like different things that we're better at doing, than somebody else, And as I said earlier, I think like I thought, okay, I'm a singer-songwriter. I can write songs. So what can I do? What can I do that will reach a lot of people? I can write songs. So I wrote "Where Does All the Plastic Go?" And I love butterflies, and I look after butterflies. So what can I do? I can write a book about butterflies, and it got published. And it's the same about taking action to save the world. What can I do? I'm trying to save the oceans. I got a book published, Saving Mother Ocean, So you also, you never really know where something you're going to start doing is going to go. You never really know, but you have to start somewhere. It's like the idea of like, from the tiny acorn, right? The oak tree can grow. It's just like it's the seed. We come up with the seed of what we want to do, and then we help it grow, and that's it.
Absolutely. Now, we also had something very special happen this morning, didn't we, Steve? As everything happens for a reason, you had a song sent to you this morning, a video.
Oh, well, yeah. I wonder what you was talking about then. No.
More magic, Steve.
Right.
More magic.
You're right, yeah. Like my song, how I came into Wake Up, Rise Up, because it was about peace, was I have a song which is calling for peace, which is called A Real Love and Communication, right? And I think I mentioned earlier that I used to do this in a song in Tenerife, in a Spanish school. And I recorded this song, I performed this song live a couple of weeks ago here in Portugal, in a city called Setúbal, in a benefit, which in itself was amazing, which was for a little boy who was born with most of his face missing. And so doctors didn't think he was going to survive, okay, because he didn't have any eyes, he didn't have any nose, and part of his skull was missing. So they were calling him the faceless boy, and they also call him the miracle baby. And he's nearly 3 now, So he is a miracle. And I think in terms of like all life is a miracle, right? This little boy is a miracle. And he was there, Okay. And so I didn't realize this until when I agreed to, I said, yeah, yes, I'll perform, you know. I didn't know who Rodrigo was. And then I quickly found out, okay, he's a little boy who he had no face when he was born. And he's still alive and he's doing well. And his mum was there. And some of the audience, they were clapping along. And he was clapping along and he was enjoying it, right? And so this was amazing just to find this out, you know, that I was singing for a little boy who was a miracle baby. And what you led to then was that
Beautiful.
I've been waiting
for, you know, it is a miracle because, go ahead.
Yeah, the miracle for today, which you reminded me of, is that I've been waiting for the actual video of this particular song live. And Pedro, who also did the Mother Nature rap, he had filmed that and he had to get it ready and like edit it. And he's got a lot of other work he's doing, but he sent me it and it arrived this morning. I thought, wow, it's arrived just on time, okay, for your podcast today, which is why I sent it to you. So here we are, where it's a moment in time, okay, like time for Ocean Aid, time for a real love and communication to have actually, this is it. This is its first public broadcast.
Whoa.
Okay?
Here
It's
it
an
is first on
exclusive.
Angified.
So, yep, there we are. And it's got a miracle baby. You know, it was the benefit for a miracle baby, a miracle little boy.
We're going to share that right now as we go ahead and we wrap up this beautiful interview. It has been amazing, Steve. I'm going to share with everyone here where to find you. So that way everyone can go ahead and support you and go ahead and follow you as you make this incredible journey. And I'm right here with you.
Angie, thank you so much again. It's been a real pleasure being here, talking to you, trying to explain myself and my, you know, what I'm doing. And thank you so much for I think for really understanding, which has been wonderful. I know you got like what I'm doing and you get it. And it's been amazing. And so thank you again.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead. Let's check out this piece, Steve. Keep sharing the love, everyone.
Yeah, and make the love as well. We can do that. We can make butterflies. We can make love.
That's
we
right.
can make hearts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can make a butterfly.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to hear your next piece after, Steve. Everybody, you can find him on steveandrews.info, linktree./Steve Andrews, Instagram, Bard of, is it Eli or
Ely.
Ely.
I have to explain. It's like, I know some people think Eli. It's Ely.
Ely.
And
Awesome.
there were two Elys. There's Ely Cambridge and Ely Cardiff. I am
But
the
you're the
Ely
Bard.
Cardiff. I am the Bard.
And you can find him on Bandcamp, Bard of Ely. On
Ely.
Bandcamp, Reverb Nation, Facebook, and Twitter. Do it, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Here we are.
This song is my current single. It's out as a single, and I wanted a video to go with it. Of course, the single is a studio version, so it's going to be different to this. This is the acoustic version. It's a song for peace, something very important. Too much hate in the world, too much pain in the world, too much violence in the world, too much poverty in the world, too
breaking, and the violence takes to the streets. No one is safe. Share the love. Stand up, wake up, rise up with us. Let your voice be heard. Let's sing it out to the clouds, to the mountains, to the seas, to the oceans, all across the world. Stand with us on September 21st, 2022. As we go ahead, celebrate World Peace Day, and we stand up to all of the violence that is taken to the streets. Share a great day of entertainment, laughter, music. Be you, be heard, be original. Share that love out. Don't forget about nature and us little bees. You know, you need our honey. Please take care of us. Don't forget about the bees. Love one another, be kind. Wake up, rise up. Blue skies are ahead if we all stand together. Let your music be heard. Share the love, be that rock for someone who may need you in a hard time. Sing it out to everyone. Share that love. Be that bright light sky so we have more memories to share for our children, for our future. For our nature so we can enjoy. Love everything, make dreams and big goals, set your future aside. Wake up and rise up with us. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight and for going ahead, sharing that love. Tune in, like, share, subscribe. Steve Andrews, everyone. Make sure to go ahead, check him out everywhere. He is the Bard of Ely, the famous Cardiffian. He is a musician and a naturalist, an author and a TV star. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Angified, and you all have a blessed and wonderful day.
Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love?